Good Monday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the video forecast discussion for this mild Monday as we continue on the 14th of April, 2014. Well, if you weren't stuck inside this weekend, you would have noticed the air mass was quite summer-like, especially on Sunday, where temperatures rose into the upper 70s and even mid-80s across the region. We had high temperatures in the 80s right in Homedale, also just west of the Turnpike there, New Brunswick at 83 degrees. Newark had 83 degrees as well. We had temperatures around Jersey City at 73 degrees. Temperatures even over the interior at Wantage and Sussex County, and also portions of Walpack at 74 degrees yesterday. Right along the immediate coast, temperatures were cooled where onshore winds from the chillier Atlantic waters, where water temperatures are in the mid and upper 40s, progressed east or westbound into these coastal regions, and right along the barrier islands here, we had temperatures ranging into the lower to mid 60s. Now we should see more cloud cover today, and temperatures might be a little bit cooler, but right now they're still quite mild. They're generally all in the 60s, except along the immediate coast where they started a little bit cooler last night, overnight, early this morning. Temperatures right along the outer barrier islands here are in the upper 50s, and temperatures in southern New Jersey and southern Cape May County also in the 50s, but elsewhere temperatures are responding also into the mid and upper 60s as we start just after sunrise this morning. New Jersey surface map from Kamala Cod this morning shows our temperatures in the upper 50s to low and mid 60s with a southerly wind which is already increasing at 10 to 15 with gusts up to 20 miles per hour at times across the region this morning. And skies are generally clear. We do have some mid and high level clouds across some sections, but most of the sky cover is clear after sunrise this morning. We can also see temperatures along the outer barrier islands here in the 50s, and also across the south shore and north shore of Long Island into southern Connecticut as well, where temperatures are rising this morning from the mid to the upper 50s. Morning streamline analysis is showing high pressure well off the east coast, pumping in very warm and moist air from off the Atlantic. Winds are coming in from the south to southwesterly direction. Most of this is just basically from the south, and the southerly flow continues ahead of this cold front here, which is now stretching from the eastern portions of the Great Lakes down through and just west of the Tennessee and Mississippi River Valley this morning. National view of the surface observations and radar composite over the top of it from weatheroanoke.com. A digital atmosphere software shows that cold front now across the Great Lakes with a warm front to the north and east of this now stretching into southern New England, and we are all on the mild southerly flow. Well out ahead of this cold front is showers, and across the south, showers and thunderstorms in this region here, and then cold and much drier air. Look at this, temperatures in the Midwest this morning basically at about 20 to 25 degrees. So this cold air here is on the move and will make it into our metropolitan area within the next 48 hours. Morning visible loop this morning at sunrise as the sun's coming up and the satellite is passing over, as the sun is now over the horizon here. We have a stream of moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere moving over the region. Let's check out the infrared imagery and the loop this morning. We can find some weak, moderate warm cloud tops moving in across the region just to our south and west, where there is plenty more moisture and also mid and upper level warm air developing across this region, and the cloud tops also beginning to cool down with the brighter yellows and greens here. This is indicative of rain, which is going to be on the way. And the water vapor loop this morning also shows the same kind of thing. We see this fetch of warm air and then moisture off to our south and west, and it will remain so until after midnight tonight. And something new for the season, we're going to use pollen.com for a general overview of the pollen and allergy forecast over the next couple of days. Right now we are in the high levels. This means that most people in this level between 9.7 and 12 tend to suffer from allergies, symptoms becoming more severe during the days when high pollen levels are available. And the forecast for today and tomorrow is definitely on the high side, moderate on Wednesday after cold air comes in, and then back to medium to high levels again by Thursday and Friday as all the plants continue to germinate. Another new section through the spring and summer months will be the air quality notifications from airnow.gov with the Enviro Flash Google mapping here. Air quality affects how you live and breathe. Like the weather, it can change from day to day, even hour by hour. Updated information allows you to make decisions based on air quality forecast. Now, this Enviro Flash comes to you through a partnership between the U.S. EPA and your state and local air quality agency. And we can see that we have some moderate to unhealthy amounts across the region, actually moderate to good air quality for the region from Philadelphia all the way up to the New York City corridor, and then very good breathing air quality today actually through southern Connecticut as well. Things are generally quiet on the aviational weather deck this morning. We have just a little bit of some strong gusty winds here out of the southwest at 17 knots. Visibilities at 10 miles and some broken ceilings at 1,100 feet in Mount Pocono. Everybody else is VFR outside of Newark right now. Look at this, 64 degrees for the morning of 8 a.m. on Monday, the 14th of April. That's unusually mild. Normal highs are around 62 degrees, so this is already above the normal high so far. Dew point 55, that means relative humidities are coming up at 73%. Wind is south at 14. It's overcast with broken ceilings at 25,000. Find a few to broken ceilings, a few clouds to broken ceilings this morning, and some broken to scattered clouds, mid and upper level variety overspreading the region. Gusty southwesterly winds at 18, gust up to 26 knots in the surface boundary layer and the planetary boundary layer during this afternoon too, providing lots of mixing and warm air across the region. And southerly winds at about 12 knots with visibilities, oh, we just lost that, with the broken ceilings at 15,000. We're expecting some light rain to get in here after midnight tonight, and the winds gusting out of the southwest. And they could be gusting at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. We could even have some strong wind gusts tomorrow morning, some low-level jet and mid-level jet approaching from the region. Now, from early tomorrow morning on, southwesterly winds at 14 knots on average, overcast conditions, and we could have, again, some strong gusts in any heavier downpours, and some of those winds could be brought down to the surface, which would produce downburst winds and low-level wind shear across the region, and we'll have to monitor that in some of any low-top thunderstorms or enhanced rainfall across the region during tomorrow. Philadelphia right now is overcast with broken ceilings at 28,000 feet, air temperature 64, and same kind of thing. We're expecting rain showers in the vicinity after or near midnight tonight, and then southerly winds basically at 12 gusts up to 20 knots. Visibility is reduced tomorrow in MVFR and IFR conditions in the morning with scattered rain showers. And then from tomorrow morning, southerly winds 16 gusts to 26 knots, rain showers in the vicinity, 3 miles visibility with overcast conditions, basically MVFR to IFR. Now, these areas here will improve to back to MVFR and VFR conditions by very late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning as the entire system and cold front move off the coast, but cold air advection will be building in with strong and gusty northwesterly winds. I want to pull up this graphic. This is the NAM Wharf composite temperatures, the 2-meter temperatures above ground level here. This would be for Tuesday afternoon at around 3 o'clock or so. Notice how temperatures are in the upper 50s right along the coast. They're in the low to the mid 60s where it's raining here over the interior. And look at this, over northwestern New Jersey and into the Poconos, temperatures are crashing from 60 into the 30s here according to the model as precipitation exits. And there could be some frozen precipitation. Sleet could possibly be in the column. It would be too warm for snow in the boundary level, but the possibility of sleet as everything exits tomorrow afternoon is still a possibility. We'll get into that in just a moment. And we're going to be going from summer into frost all within 72 hours, and that's how dynamic the atmosphere could be with a very strong cold front, which is now out to our west this morning. High and mid-level clouds moving into the region this afternoon. Southerly winds, temperatures getting back into the 70s. Cooler right along the New Jersey coast. There could be a little bit of fog or stratus, actually, maybe not fog, but just stratus around the coastal regions. Again, the model has been overdoing the amount of stratus here as of late, so we'll just keep a monitor of that. Most of the stratus has been east of the region, away from the coast, but an increase of moisture, low-level jet increasing, mid and upper-level jet increasing. Everything is parallel to the flow here against the cold front, so the cold front is slow to move through the area with waves of rain. The parent low now getting into southeastern Canada by later this afternoon. Warm air continues to build in with isentropic lift and warm air advection, and that means the increase of showery type weather, even some embedded heavier nodes of rain getting in here after midnight tonight just to our west. The rain will be moving from south to north. It will be enhanced over orographic lifting, which will cause some heavy downpours to be providing some flood issues during tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening as well. The good news is that most of the moderate to heavy rain should just be falling in areas where we really, really do need it. So outside of ponding on the roadways and road flooding, basically urban and street and highway flooding, we're not expecting the rivers to get anywhere near any kind of flood stage, but some moderate pockets of rain, even low-topped embedded thunderstorms will enhance the rainfall. 1 to locally 3 inches of rain could be falling where these storms train over the same location from early tomorrow morning right through tomorrow afternoon. And the rain could really be coming down hard, especially as the front nears the region later in the afternoon. And then eventually the cold front will move all the precipitation off the coast rapidly with clearing skies during the early morning hours right after midnight Tuesday night, and plenty of dry air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere down to the surface with compression. And that will be occurring during the day on Wednesday, and a noticeable change in the air mass, wind direction, and temperature. Once again, this gives you an idea where we're going with the temperatures today. Again, we're going to get into the 70s again, upper 50s to mid 60s across the outer barrier islands here of central coastal New Jersey down to Cape May County. And the temperatures really respond into the 70s, pretty uniform, dropping back into the 60s tonight as the clouds and rain get in here. And this is what's important here as we looked through this. Here's where the temperatures begin to crash as the front enters the area. We could be getting into frost with clear skies by the time we get into Wednesday night. Look at this. Temperatures are progged to get below freezing by Wednesday morning just before dawn. So we could be going from summer to frosty weather again, at least temporarily, and the forecast temperatures don't really warm up that much. They remain anywhere from the upper 30s into the mid 40s. I think the upper 30s are probably a little bit too cold here, but definitely very chilly air coming in on northwesterly winds and gusty winds behind this cold front and dynamic storm system moving through the region over the next 24 hours. Watches, warnings, and advisories. We have small craft advisories all in the pinks here along the south shore east ends of Long Island, the north shore of Long Island, southern shores of Connecticut out towards Rhode Island, also the New York Harbor and the back bays here, the ocean fronts from New Jersey all the way down to Rehoboth Beach in Delaware, covering our forecast region into the back bays here of the Chesapeake as well. These are for southerly winds and southwesterly winds at 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots, then shifting around to the west. Northwest actually during Tuesday evening, and those will increase from 20 to 30 miles an hour with gust up to 40 miles per hour and choppy seas between 4 to 7 feet on the ocean fronts here. GFS maps into motion. We have an active pattern. This is the precipitation type forecast from the GFS going forward. We can see our rain and moisture plume developing across the region. One area of low pressure now moves into the Appalachian Mountains here and into the Ohio and Pennsylvania watersheds here. This provides the lifting mechanism for moderate pockets of rain to develop across the region late tonight after midnight through tomorrow morning. Again, nuisance rain. Here comes our second batch on the front moving into the region. Notice the yellows here and the blues. This is where the precipitation rapidly changes over to a mix of either sleet or snow as the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere cool and the cold air rushes all the way down to the surface. We could find some enhancement to some of this snow or sleet precipitation ending across northwestern New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley, parts of the Poconos, down through central and southeastern Pennsylvania. Not out of the question, as some of the short-range models are still indicating this. This is a global model with a higher resolution. But but some of the lower resolution model actually, but the higher resolution models are indicating some frozen precipitation types to end the forecast period right after Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. That gets out of here. High pressure builds in and crests across the region, but it's a cool high. And as it builds and moves off the mid-Atlantic coast states and the northern New England coast states, it ridges down all the way on the east side of the Appalachian spine of the mountains here. This produces an onshore flow of north to northeast winds that keeps the atmosphere cool. And then we wait for the next system to arrive. The cold air stays in place right through Thursday night and Friday with some chilly, frosty nights ahead and some chillier days too, with temperatures are going to be below normal again. And then we have a warm front and a surface wave developing with low pressure across the upper Great Lakes. This speeds in some moisture. Could be slower to get in here, but then we have an onshore flow. We have the trough increasing the moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. The northeast flow bringing in the chillier marine air mass and also moisture fetch from in off the ocean here for Saturday. Most of the weekend looks dry, but we could find rain showers breaking out with this inducement of warm air advection and onshore flow here. This would be for Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, and then that moves to the north and east, and we wait for the next frontal system to approach with the chance for rain showers across the region again late on Sunday into Monday of next week. So your brief burst of summer with southwesterly winds and gusty, breezy temperatures in the 70s and 80s is going to be replaced by northwesterly winds at the same or higher speeds. Rain in between the two with 1 to 2 inches, locally up to 3 inches, and in heavier embedded showers and thunderstorms tomorrow right through tomorrow evening. Precipitation rapidly ends as either some sleet or light snow across the hillier sections where we could find a little bit of coating on the ground in those higher elevations. Most of the lower elevations will just end on a wet and cold note with a rapid freeze and then frost coming in for the mid to the later part of the week. So it's going to be an active weather week indeed, and one that's going to keep us on our toes. And don't forget, tomorrow is also tax day, so if you haven't really finished up your taxes, tomorrow is the last day to do so and file them with the IRS and also your local state and federal, your local government as well, if you don't reside here in the Garden State. For Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. Remember, most people are otherwise. You, my friends, are weatherwise. We'll have all the latest weather information, Google mapping, and all of that on both websites, and the video forecast discussion like the one you're seeing now. So enjoy your day, and we'll be back bright and early on Tuesday morning.